Welcome back. Today, we're looking at a piece that tries to turn a medical guide into a family conversation. How age alters organ function and what families must understand for care.
It uses a fictional dialogue, Mr. America, Miss England, Grandpa New Zealand, to explain some pretty heavy physiological changes.
A lot of ambition there. Let's get right into it.
Let's do it.
So I think we have to start with the characters. It's the biggest creative choice the author made, having this global family discussing organ failure.
It is, and it's a classic case of a creative idea getting in the way of the actual goal. The utilization of these nation-based personas, it just creates a layer of symbolic ambiguity that competes with the educational intent.
Right, because when I see Mr. America and Miss England, my brain immediately starts looking for, a subtext that isn't there.
Exactly. You're invoking all this cultural and political baggage. You're practically inviting the reader to ask, is this about the NHS versus the American system?
Which is a huge distraction.
It's a total red herring. Remember the audience here. It's probably a stressed-out caregiver.
Yes, someone just trying to get answers.
And instead, their brain is busy trying to decode geopolitics, while the text is trying to deliver universal biological facts. Human stomachs shrink regardless of your passport.
So that mismatch creates, a kind of cognitive friction?
It just wastes their energy.
It absolutely does.
The name choice is actively distracting from the medical data.
Okay, I get that. It's a distraction. But the author clearly wanted a narrative, not just a list of facts. So what's the fix? If we take away the countries, what do we put in their place?
I think we realign the character archetypes to directly support the teaching goal. We have to think about their function.
So instead of Mr. America, you have what?
Something like the pragmatist for Miss England's role, or the optimist for Mr. America. Or even better, if the goal is family dynamics, use relational tags.
You mean literally call them the son or the daughter-in-law?
The informed son, maybe. The prepared daughter-in-law. That immediately grounds the piece in the family unit it claims to be for. It gives the reader an avatar.
That makes sense. But let's say the author is, really attached to these names. Maybe it's part of a series brand. Is there any way to make Grandpa New Zealand work?
Only if the text earns it. The name has to be thematically justified.
How so?
Well, there's a part on bone density. If Grandpa New Zealand says something like, I hiked the Milford Sound for 40 years. My knees were iron. Why are they feeling me now?
Ah, I see. Then the name isn't just a label.
Exactly. It becomes a variable in his medical history. It implies an active lifestyle that's now being compromised. The name starts to pay rent,
It contributes to the medical understanding instead of just being a quirk.
Precisely. If it doesn't contribute, it distracts. And right now, it's a distraction.
Okay, so let's assume we've fixed the names. We have our archetypes. We still need to talk about how they talk. This piece leans so heavily on humor.
It's a rhythm, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like serious medical fact, then Grandpa makes a joke, over and over.
The consistent reliance on punchlines to conclude each medical segment, it risks minimizing the perceived severity of the symptoms.
I was wondering about that. On one hand, it makes heavy topics more accessible, right? It stops the reader from getting completely overwhelmed.
That's the intention, sure.
But the problem isn't the humor itself. It's the placement. It's the emotional sequencing.
Emotional sequencing. Okay, unpack that for me.
Look at the part about swallowing. Miss England explains that the esophagus loses motility, which is a serious, dangerous issue. Then, boom, Grandpa immediately jokes about his steak pasting like a rubber shoe.
And the scene ends on a laugh.
Right, which signals to the caregiver reading it, oh, this is just an annoyance, Grandpa's being picky.
But the medical reality of dysphagia is that it's a leading cause of aspiration pneumonia.
Which can be fatal.
Exactly. The joke becomes this tonal safety net. It lets the reader off the hook. It basically erases the warning label on the information that came just before it.
So the humor is actually anesthetizing the reader to the danger.
That's a great way to put it. It is.
So how do we fix that without just stripping out all the personality? The rubber shoe line is memorable.
You just flip the sequence. Adjust the emotional beat.
So you start with the joke?
Yes. Let Grandpa make the joke first. He complains about the rubber shoe, everyone has a little chuckle, it diffuses the tension. Then the informed character, say the daughter-in-law, ends the section with the serious implication.
So she'd say something like,
That's funny, Grandpa, but the room went quiet when they realized that troubled chewing like that is a leading cause of, the lesson lands in the silence that follows the joke.
The joke becomes the hook, not the punchline.
The hook, and the medical reality is the anchor. You can't let them just float away on the laugh.
That's a very actionable change. Okay, so this brings us to the advice itself. The title promises to explain what families must understand for care.
And I'd argue the text succeeds in describing physiological decline, but falls pretty short on that promise about care.
I felt that too. It felt like I was learning a lot about the what and the why. The stomach shrinks, antibodies drop, but not much about the what to do.
That's the core issue. The material is so heavy on pathology, what goes wrong, but it's incredibly light on protocol, what you do about it. The current solutions are vague,
Hydration is key.
adjust meal portions, things we already know.
Right.
The sophisticated reader this is aimed at, they already know organs fail. They're reading this to find out how to manage that failure, tactically.
Can you give me a clear example from the text where that falls apart?
The immune system section is probably the best one. It has this great metaphor, the immune system working part-time hours. It explains T-cell reduction really well, but then the advice is just,
Be careful.
be careful. It's not advice, it's just a source of anxiety. A caregiver already knows to be careful. They need a strategy.
So what does that look like? What's the better version?
Well, you shift the ratio of the content. You move it from maybe 80% description to 50-50. You pair every biological fact with a specific caregiving strategy.
So for the immune system.
You move beyond the metaphor and suggest specific behavioral changes. You introduce a term like a cocooning strategy, where visitors have to be vaccinated, or you shift gatherings outdoors to lower the viral load.
Cocooning strategy. I like that. It's a concrete term you can use with your family.
It operationalizes the biology. Or look at the section on skin and nerves. It explains neuron loss, how seniors can't feel heat as quickly. Great science. But the advice is just watch out for burns.
Which is useless.
It is. What does that even mean? The text should explicitly suggest, because of this neuronal loss, you need to go install Scald Guard devices on the faucets.
It connects the biology directly to an action, to a shopping list almost.
That is the bridge this piece is missing. It assumes if you explain the science, the family will figure out the care. But they're tired, they're overwhelmed. You have to give them the tool.
No problem without a tool. That seems like a good rule for the author.
Yeah. If you tell me the body produces fewer digestive enzymes, you better follow that up by suggesting enzyme-rich foods like papaya or talking to a geriatrician about supplements.
That makes a lot of sense. So zooming out a bit, I want to talk about the overall structure. We've hit the micro level, but the whole thing is organized head to toe.
The standard anatomical tour.
Yeah, mouth, stomach, intestines. It feels logical, but also a little fragmented.
Is fragmented because the head-to-toe anatomical listing fails to capture the interconnected nature of geriatric care.
How so? I mean, it seems like a straightforward way to organize it.
It is for a medical student, but a caregiver doesn't treat organs, they treat problems, they treat scenarios.
Right. A son isn't waking up thinking, today I need to focus on dad's liver.
Exactly. He's waking up thinking, why won't dad eat? Or why is he so tired all the time? And the current structure forces the reader to synthesize the connections themselves. It puts the teeth in one chapter, the stomach in another, and the intestines somewhere else entirely.
But they're all part of the same problem.
They are all part of one single system. What I think we need to do here is reorganize the content clusters based on functional life domains rather than anatomy.
Okay, that's a big change. What would that look like in practice?
So cluster 1 could be the fueling cycle.
The fueling cycle?
Yeah, you group teeth, saliva, stomach, liver, and intestines into one single section called nutrition and digestion. That way the narrative flows from why he won't eat to why he feels bloated, and you show the whole cause and effect chain.
So the caregiver can see how the problem in the mouth leads to the problem in the gut. It teaches systems thinking.
Precisely. And then, for the next cluster, what about the heart, lungs, bones?
What would you call that?
Cluster 2, mobility and independence. You group the heart, lungs, bones, and nervous system together.
That's a really interesting grouping. Cardiologists and orthopedists are usually in completely different wings of the hospital.
In a hospital, yeah, but not in your dad's living room. Think about the feedback loop. The stiff rib cage from a lung issue makes breathing harder.
Okay.
That lack of oxygen makes the heart work harder, creating that climbing Everest feeling the text talks about. That feeling makes the senior want to sit down.
And sitting down weakens the bones.
It's a vicious cycle. And if you separate them into different chapters, the reader misses it. But if you group them, they realize, oh, treating the breathing might actually help the knees. It changes the whole piece from a list of parts into a strategy guide.
And what's the last bucket? Immune system, kidneys?
Defense and regulation. That's cluster 3. You group things like the immune system, kidneys, bladder, glucose risks. It frames them as systems to monitor, like a home security system, rather than something you can actively fix with exercise.
Wow. Okay, so this is a huge overhaul. We're talking about renaming characters, resequencing the dialogue, adding specific protocols, and then completely re-architecting the flow.
We're tearing the delivery mechanism apart, yes. But we're not touching the core science.
That's a really important distinction.
The research in this submission is solid. The author clearly knows their physiology. The descriptions are vivid and accurate. We aren't critiquing the knowledge at all. We're critiquing the user experience.
The raw material is there. It just needs to be presented in a way that's actually useful for the intended audience.
Exactly. It's like the gem is beautifully cut, but the setting is all wrong. It's distracting. We just need to reset it so it can really shine.
Okay, so let's summarize this. For the listener who submitted this, we've got a 4-step plan to get this draft where it needs to be.
Step 1, the personas. You have to get rid of that geopolitical confusion. My vote is to switch to archetypes like the pragmatist or relational tags like the informed son.
Or if you must keep Grandpa New Zealand, make the name earn its keep with some biological relevance.
Right. Then, step 2 is tone and sequencing.
Don't let the joke be the last word. Use humor as the hook to draw the reader in, but always end the section on the serious, actionable takeaway. Don't anesthetize the danger.
Step 3, operationalize the advice.
No problem without a tool. Shift from 80% scription to at least 50% prescription. Give the reader concrete things to do. The cocooning strategy, the scald guards.
And finally, step 4, the big one, structure.
Abandon the head-to-toe anatomical list. Reorganize everything into those functional domains: fueling, mobility, and defense. Teach the systems, not just the parts.
It's a lot of work, but this piece really does have the potential to be a go-to guide for people. The voice is there, the science is there. It just needs that strategic realignment.
I agree. I'd love to see the next version of this.
Me too. It could be incredibly powerful once that structure clicks into place.
So, to the listener, take these notes, break it down, and build it back up. We'd love to see how you tackle the fueling cycle. Please send it back in when you're ready.
We'll be here.
That's our critique. Thanks for listening.